One hell of a shocking move just happened about 10 to 15 minutes ago in the NBA, and that is Jrue Holiday getting traded from the Celtics to the Portland Trailblazers again for Anfernee Simons and 2 second-round picks. Now, I think this is honestly a pretty interesting trade for both teams. For one, the Celtics could have got themselves in a little bit of trouble here because, as we know, the Celtics have been doing moves. When they won the championship, they kept extending everybody, and everyone was saying, how the hell are they going to afford all this? And little did we know that they couldn't. All the hell was about to start coming back, raining upon them. They don't want to be in that second apron for too long. So they move off of Jrue Holiday. They get Anfernee Simons, who's an expiring contract. He's a dude that fills exactly what they kind of need in the wake of the Jason Tatum injury with the Achilles tear. And, you know, he's a fantastic playmaker in general, I would say. I would put him in the damn near fantastic tier. You know, 20-point scorer, good, solid enough passer for the past 4 years on Portland. He's been averaging 20 points on 44% from the field. On a team, too, where for a lot of that time, he was one of the main defensive attention dudes. They weren't that good. They were pretty good this past year and started to make some strides. And on the Portland side of things, so Simons is expiring this year. I'm interested to see he's extension eligible. So will he get an extension? Do they believe that much in him? Or are they just picking him up saying, we'll bring him all the way to unrestricted free agency next year. You know, we'll just deal with that when it comes. Or maybe they, you know, build up his value throughout the first half of the season and actually trade the bastard. I don't know, maybe. But more importantly, for Portland specifically, is that you maybe thought, okay, we've kind of ran out the Simons ship for as long as it possibly can go, and we haven't really got better in this regard, and we feel like we need, ironically, a guard. Like, we need a playmaker. Earlier, I was on stream, actually, and I'm kind of mad that I ended my stream an hour before this happened, but earlier I was on stream and I said, we were talking about Domantas Sabonis, actually, and I had said that Portland would have been a cool destination for him. I guess technically it's still possible, but I had heard that Domantas Sabonis could have, you know, there was Eastern teams calling, like the Raptors, and there was even Western teams calling, which they didn't name the team specifically, but I thought maybe Portland would be a good destination for him because they kind of lack playmakers, specifically, you know, playmaker kind of scorer and passer, but specifically the passing kind. And Jrue Holiday, you know, the last time when he was on Milwaukee, obviously he didn't touch the ball nearly as much when he was in Boston, but when he was on Milwaukee, or specifically, like, you know, create plays with the ball. But when he was on Milwaukee, you know, just 2 years ago, he was averaging what, 20 and 7. So, you know, he did that for basically his entire tenure over there. Only problem is it has been 2 years. I believe I saw he played like 62 games this past season. So could that end up being a potential issue for Portland? Maybe. You know, as he's getting older, he's getting a little bit more washed, but also too, like I said, his role was less, his usage was less. I think he can get up back to closer to where he was at Milwaukee, you know, overall statistically, but also too, you get a fantastic defender. You get a great passer. Like, that's what they're really focused on in this deal. But anyways, yeah, I think it's a good move for them. Now, the thing is that with Portland, it's like, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. I think the team's starting to take leaps. They've had good win streaks this year. They started to play really good in the second half of the season. And they ended up finishing as like the 12th seed, I believe. And you're damned if you do, damned if you don't, because they're starting to get good, honestly. And I really like how their team is built. There's also arguably, and when I say arguably, there is like 2 to 3 teams that really aren't better than Portland as a team, but they got players like Devin Booker, or they got players like, you know, the Kings with Zach LaVine, Sabonis, and DeRozan. Like, they have good, more proven players in a team like Portland, but Portland is probably much better as a full-fledged team, which I don't know why it just hit me that the thought of Jrue Holiday and Tamani Kamara playing defense together is pretty good. That's pretty good for the sport, I guess. But anyways, so you kind of have to try, and I think with Portland, it's like you were gonna have to extend Simons regardless. Now you got Jrue. He's on this big contract. He's making $35+ million a year for the most part over the next 3 seasons until he's like 37 or 38 years old. But nobody seems to ever want to go to Portland. Like, for Portland, I'm interested to see Jeremy Grant. I believe he has 3 years left, and DeAndre Ayton has 1 year left. I'm interested to see, well, for one, if Ayton could command any value. Maybe he could command value as a salary dump off for another team, same way as Jrue Holiday just was, possibly. That would be interesting, considering that no one kind of wanted Ayton while the contract was actually ongoing. But with 1 year left, I mean, hey, if a team needs to get rid of a bad contract, I just don't think in no time soon are people going to want to go to Portland. So it might be smarter if, you know, they continue to invest in assets like this to kind of continue to take steps upward as Sharp gets better. Scoot Henderson hopefully gets better, especially under the tutelage of someone like Jrue and whoever the hell else I'm forgetting. They got other great players too. Like, obviously I said Kamara, Denny Avdia. I really liked, what's his name? Donovan Clingan. And that's also another reason why I would like if they moved on from Ayton. And now they're sitting there too, because I'm assuming all 3 of those guys are healthy now. So you're sitting with Ayton, although Ayton missed like the entire second half of the season, but you're sitting with Ayton, Clingan, and Robert Williams, who's also still there from the damn Jrue trade and has barely played since then. But yeah, once again for Boston, clear up all the cap space in the world, get a dude who feels exactly what you're going to need while Tatum's out. Shams did report that they're going to be still extremely active in regard to all of their key players, really. If I had a damn near guarantee one that I don't think will be moved, I think it would be Jaylen Brown, just just because of his contract. There's not many teams that can easily match that. And he's also Jaylen Brown for the Boston Celtics. Like that's, you know, their finals MVP and everything. I don't think he would get traded. I just don't think he would. Peyton Pritchard also, I think, will be safe just because his contract is so favorable for them. He's only making like pennies on the dollar compared to the rest of the league's contracts at this point in time, especially for his value as a sixth man of the year. But of course, everyone kind of expects Derek White to at least be in talks, as well as Porzingis to probably, for their sake, be out of there. I don't know what they're going to return for either of these, but this is very interesting because nobody saw this coming. I don't think anyone even hypothesized this. Well, I think it's a solid move for both. Nobody saw this going anywhere. And Orlando was big time the target that everyone was drawing up for what's his name, for Simons. But they just picked up Desmond Bane. All that being said, I've always been personally a big fan of Simons, big fan of both of these dudes. And I think they fit way better with the teams they were just traded to, specifically considering the Tatum injury for Boston's sake, because obviously Jrue Holiday fit great with them when they were, you know, super team Boston or whatever. On that note too, it'll be interesting to see how Indiana moves now that Tyrese probably misses a year. We'll see if someone in my chat earlier said something about them maybe getting Lonzo Ball. I'm like, damn, that's actually, you know, I wonder if they'd be eager to do that considering his injury history. Not even the need, just like this year he like hurt his wrist and missed like 2 months. But yeah, they'll be one to monitor. And then who else? Oh yeah, Dame, right? Yeah, that's another one too. I think they'll just be like the top target for like all the dudes who are going to go for the MLE or the minimum that are point guards are probably going to want to go to Milwaukee first, unless they do actually trade for a point guard. But yeah, that's it. Jrue Holiday's a damn Blazer and Anfernee Simons is a Celtic. I did not see the day that this dude was going to finally be off of Portland. It's been a minute. It's been 6 years? It's been 7 years. I was thinking 6. I was thinking 6 because of 2018, but it's actually 7 years ago. But that's okay. You know, it's not long. It's only been 7 years. Yeah, anyways, that's it. I'll see you around.